Hi, welcome to 11.2, Solving Quadratic Equations by Completing the Square. Hopefully by the end of this, you will be able to solve quadratic equations by completing the square. So, the completing the square is trying to make a perfect square trinomial. So I'm going to kind of back up to what do perfect square trinomials look like when they're expanded so that we can make them. So if you have a plus b squared, that, if you multiply it out, it looks like a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. You got perfect squares on each side, and if you take the square root of a and b and multiply those together and then multiply by 2, that's what the middle term is. So if you have a minus b squared and multiply that all the way out, that'll be a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So what we're going to aim to do is to make basically that right side of the equation so then it factors as a perfect square trinomial. And the reason that we're doing this is so that we can essentially use that square root property that we learned in 11.1. So we're just going to practice creating those perfect square trinomials, which is this completing the square step, okay? So the first one I have for us in example A is x squared plus 4x plus blank. I just want to fill in that blank to make that a perfect square trinomial. So if you remember the general format, it's x squared plus, I guess we did a squared, didn't we? A squared plus 2ab plus b squared. That was the general format. Now for us, instead of a's, we're going to have x's, right? And so that middle term, that 4x, is 2ab. So I know my b isn't going to have variables in it. That's pretty nice to know. So it'd be 2 times x times 2 to get that b value. So really what I'm doing is I'm taking that 4x, I'm going to go ahead and divide out the x because that was from the a, and then divide it by 2 and figure out that that b value is 2. So I'm kind of taking this and dividing by 2, ignoring the x because it comes from here. Then this last term is b squared. So I'm going to take my b value, which is 2, and I'm going to square it. 2 squared is 4, so that's what we need to add to complete the square. Okay, let's do another one. In part B, we've got x squared minus 9x plus blank. Well, again, the x comes from the x squared. So to get my b value, I'm going to divide by 2. Now it is negative because of it being a minus, so we've got a negative 9/2, which is not pretty. It's just a fraction. And then, to get this perfect square value, I'm going to square it. I'm going to do 9/2, that b value, and I'm going to square it. Negative 9 squared is 81. 2 squared is 4. So 81 over 4 would complete the square for this one. So sometimes you have fractions. Don't be scared of them. Now I want you guys to try one and show me how much you've learned.